Hey there, Chandler Collins here. I got home today and I was inspired to send you a quick message. So I stepped out here in my yard to get a little better light. But I apologize for any of the background noise. But anyway, the it was interesting this week because it's been so gray and dreary for several weeks now, which is unusual for us here in Austin for this time of year. And so many people are talking about how you can lift your spirits and what you can do. And we start talking about things like basically self-medication is what it boils down to. How do we help ourselves? How do we help our minds? And movement and exercise is one of the most common ways that we do that, and it's one of the most effective. And it brought up an interesting point um, as I was talking to people, and this particularly relates to the webinar I have coming up on designing an exercise program, in that we think of exercise largely as just this one thing that makes us healthier. But the truth is, we kind of have to break it down to really look at it in an effective way. Really, you have to really separate the psychological effects from the activity you do from the physiological effects of that activity. And what I mean by that is that getting out and moving in various forms, whether it's if you're a runner or you like to lift weights or you do Pilates or whatever it may be, that activity is going to have both physiological effects, meaning ways in which it changes your structure, ways in which it changes your metabolism, but it's also going to have psychological effects, meaning ways in which it makes you feel better, hopefully, and not worse. Um, so if you only look at an exercise for one aspect or another, you're kind of missing the boat. What usually happens, honestly, is that people gravitate to those activities that just make them feel good up here, right? But they don't stop to think of maybe what the long-term effects are of that activity here. So, someone, for example, who's has a high-stress job, um, and they're sort of getting hammered week in, week out, maybe having trouble sleeping, might get attracted to some high intensity exercise that really leaves them spent and feeling good at the end of it. The problem is that high intensity exercise, on top of their high stress day, their high stress job, is just hammering their body. And so their whole body is not really getting a chance to rest. So, in that sense, yes, the activity makes them feel better, but really, so would a hit of cocaine, or so would maybe drinking a whole lot. And those sound like crazy ideas, but it's the truth. Is it that making a choice like that makes you feel better up here isn't necessarily the thing that's good for you overall. So you really need to marry those two ideas when you're choosing exercises or choosing activities, because if you don't, you're going to head for trouble down the road. So that's just a thought. That came up a lot during the week this week, and I wanted to throw it out there because it's something we've got to suss out when we're talking about our overall health. When we talk about how we design, how we exercise, when we design how we build a life that is both exciting and fun, but also healthy. So hope that helps. I am having a webinar coming up on designing an exercise program. If you haven't signed up for that, go to my website and check it out. You can also go to collinsdc.com/webinar-signup, and that'll be great too. So if you're watching this any other place besides collinsdc.com, head on over there, get signed up on my list. You'll get all the good information, and look forward to seeing you. Take care. Have a good week.